What's going on, everybody? Jim here from Clockwork Industries. Welcome back to another Clockwork gaming video for Diablo Immortal. So, I wanted to make another video on another farming build, which is basically just what I would consider an upgraded version of the one I just shared. Basically, you're swapping out Kick for Exploding Palm, and you use the Helm. I'll show you here in 1 second. I'm just going to go ahead and do my bounties with you guys really quick, just 4 of them. Basically, see what's going on with my sound here. So, basically, you take the Helm, Numb Realization, which allows a 30% chance to have Exploding Palm detonate by every other attack. So, primary attack, all your other skills will detonate Exploding Palm, which could trigger a detonation across all the Exploding Palms, and it basically explodes every pack. Now, you go down 1 dash because you're not using Kick, so you go from 1 or from 3 to 2, and you technically, if you wanted to, you could go with the Exploding Palm. Ooh, I'm missing a gem. Man, this keeps happening over and over and over again. They need to fix this gem system so it actually switches your gems properly. But anyway, you could actually add another Exploding Palm charge, and it probably will work for open world farming because you're probably going to be able to one-shot a lot of the mobs, so that detonation will trigger the explosion. But I just go with this one because it's almost a guaranteed like explosion of everything. So now you have 5 procs of gloom, so you have crits almost all the time when you hit on this thing. If I can find some enemies here. Oh my god, it took me all the way around the other way. We'll go to teleport over here. But it's basically identical to the other build that I was running, except for instead of using Kick, you add the Exploding Palm dash. That's going to proc your gloom. You're going to have the crit and damage buff. And you basically one-shot every pack you run into. Ooh, we got a... It's going to make it even better here. I mean, I'm kind of already doing that right now, but... There we go. And it helps you get some travel. With the Exploding Palm has some pretty long range on it. But then you also have the long range Mystic Strike, which I really like incorporating this into my builds. It's a lot of fun. It's a very far dash. Does a ton of damage. Procs your gloom buff. And it's always a lot of fun playing with a build that has synergy across all the set bonuses and all your essences. You don't have a wasted essence. Like, ideally, a build is going to have every single essence spot somehow working together to improve or help the build. Now, occasionally there's some solid builds. There's some solid builds that have like 1 missing, but I generally try to avoid that at all costs. And then you just have the Shield of Zen as just backup damage. Really, I mean, when your Exploding Palm's down, you use the Mystic Strike and the Shield of Zen. When Exploding Palm is up, that pretty much detonates everything. We'll even take out this blue pack if no one's here. So your gloom goes up. And it's basically one-shotting everything. And then if there's a couple guys left, you got the extra damage. But it's really... Oh, the Frenzy Shrine's even better. I mean, look at that. And then obviously if you're running Isatar, you would get a speed bonus. I don't even need the Exploding Palm there. I mean, Mystic Strike can almost crit and take out the whole thing. But it's a super fast killing, super effective open world farming build. This will also work in like dungeons or just if you're farming greater rifts. Actually, it's probably really good for the greater elder rifts, whatever the name is for this for the running your crest. Just because you want to go through there and kill as much stuff as you can as fast as possible. You're not... Everything dies pretty quickly, just like open world. So you don't need to really have a firestorm going because you're trying to burn down a mob with a lot of life. It's just about proccing as much burst damage as you can, always having cooldowns available. But also, it needs to be fun, too. Like, there's a lot of dashing around, a lot of high damage, big numbers, big crits. And that's, I don't know, that's what makes the build fun to me. Zooming around, dashing everywhere. Big explosions, big numbers. You know, you got to make it somewhat enjoyable when you're out here grinding out legendaries and farming your bestiaries. I mean, it basically takes out everything. Ooh, there we go. But yeah, I just wanted to share the update with this because I think this greatly improved it. The kick was, you know, kick worked. I mean, it definitely does enough damage. Kick would also proc your gloom, but this basically definitely brings more damage into the build, synergizes with it. All your other things will help detonate it. I think I was running Exploding Palm and this Damaging Shield. Now, like I said before, you could just go with normal Exploding Palm and put on like the Shield of Zen Helm, and you'll have 100% uptime on this shield. But it's really not necessary. It's only down for 2 seconds, and you basically just blast through everything anyway. So there's a lot of flexibility in the build and lets you play around with different talents and stuff. But I wanted to make another build video because I think I might be switching to Barbarian for a little bit and kind of switch it up a little bit before the Blood Knight drops. I think, you know, we're going to have at least a few weeks or about a month before the Blood Knight update. So I was thinking about trying out another class before then. But I might still stay Monk. I'm going to play it by ear. I'm going to do the Shadow War tomorrow as Monk still. And then see how I'm feeling. But I thought it'd be cool to go through the whole class change process since I haven't done that since I started the channel. Like when I started this channel, I was already Monk. So I might make a video on that. I'm still undecided. I was thinking going Barb because I could get a little bit more survivability in these BGs because I'm dying relatively easily depending on group composition and everything. But I don't know. There's just something really satisfying about getting kills as a Monk. I think because it's a pretty tricky, difficult class to master, especially when you're fighting a lot of players that have way more power than you and you can easily die. That when you finally do get in there and you have a good kill-death ratio or you hit an MVP, nothing's better than getting an MVP in the whale matches as a 3K Monk. But I don't know. I do want to try other classes, so you know, it makes the game a lot more fun and interesting and kind of, it's like a new, fresh perspective. And I'd like to be able to go through all these classes as, you know, with the CR and the resonance that I have on this character as opposed to my main. Right now, I do have a free-to-play Barb alt. It's missing a bunch of essences and stuff, so it's not really an ideal setup, and it's not... Barb is very dependent on their essences to get a really solid build together, so I'm missing a bunch of the critical ones. But I think Undying Rage would be a really helpful thing to have in these battlegrounds that I'm in. And I also just kind of want to try these other classes and be able to make videos on different builds for them as well. And I would, if I do change classes, I will certainly be coming back to Monk because it's just so much fun. There's no way I could give it up for good. But and that's going to wrap up this video. I just wanted to make another one about adding Exploding Palm to this build. You could also, you know, like I said in the other video, you could add Isatar instead of... Right now I'm doing 4-set Gloom, 2-set Urge. I'm going to run through the pieces really quick. But I'm basically running 4-set Gloom, so I get the damage and crit buff. Then I'm running 2-set Urge. Now this is interesting, though, and I didn't realize this. Check this out. I thought you would get the extra time on the Gloom buff from your Urge 2-set. But you don't. It's only 3 seconds. Unless is that just barely hitting it? Because if you watch... I guess it is just barely 4 seconds. Never mind. When I was trying it before, it looked like it didn't give me that extra, like, just about a second, but it seems like it is. Ooh, another legendary. Nice. So scratch that. Never mind. But yeah, so let me go really quick here. 4-set Gloom, 2-set Urge. You could switch the Urge out for Izatar or something, but honestly, you don't even need it. You got so much mobility with like if you're circle farming, you have so much mobility with the 3 Mystic Strikes and the 2 huge Exploding Palm leaps. You really don't need it. Numb Realization will proc Exploding Palm with any of your hits. What's the chest piece? Oh, I need to change this. Intersanct. I forget. Oh, I do the Wave of Light radius, so it goes even further. Shimmerland Shoulders for Wave of Light. Mystic Strike for the pants. Shield of Zen damage main hand, and then Exploding Palm offhand. So that's the setup. Try it out. Let me know what you think. I think this build is probably one of the best setups I've used so far. Lots of mobility, lots of damage, proccing all your set bonuses, and it's just a lot of fun. Yeah, that's going to wrap it up for this one. If there's any kind of video topics you guys got any ideas for, let me know down in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share and all that good stuff. And I will catch you guys in the next video. Later.